Shakur Stevenson's got to make up his mind. I want to see him fight soon. I want to see him stay active. And more importantly, from a selfish perspective, I want to see that Tank Davis fight. Because come on, guys. Like, does it really have to be this difficult? It should really just be, you know, who's going to give him the big fights? Who's going to give him the money that Shakur Stevenson deserves? That should be the obvious answer. But there's also stuff like the politics, not wanting to work with certain people. I deserve more money. I could counteroffer these guys. So we gotta wait. You know, this is the way boxing is. It's the way the show goes. The show must go on, and for the show to go on, we gotta have Shakur Stevenson pick a side though, because until then, you know, at 135, we can't comfortably say that the best are fighting right now, because Shakur Stevenson he's right there. He's 1A or 1B with Tank Davis at 135, and a lot of people like to say, hey, you know, they tell me when I'm pushing for this Shakur Stevenson and Tank fight, don't you think that there are more exciting fights for Tank out there? I mean, Shakur Stevenson, he's not really doing anything exciting. That's what a lot of people are saying, but you guys got to separate the fights we want to see from the fights that we have to see. There's a difference. You know, there's fights that we have to see. And Shakur Stevenson, you guys may say he's boring. You could say that you don't enjoy his style of fighting, but everybody who really knows the sport knows that he's 1A or 1B right there with Tank Davis, and there's no doubt about that. So we still have to see that fight regardless. Even if you guys think Gervonta should move up to 140, 147, fight Devin Haney, fight Ryan Garcia in the rematch. I want to see that stuff too, but the real boxing fans, in order to keep it within boxing tradition, we have to see the best at 135 fighting each other, meaning that we need to see Zepeda fight Shakur, or Zepeda fight Tank, or a Tank fight Shakur. That's the way it's supposed to work. And then we could get to those exciting fights where we throw in Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, all these guys that aren't even at 35. The current discussion, and it shouldn't even be a discussion, is that Tank and Shakur Stevenson should be fighting. There should be no if, ors, or buts about it. You know, you could throw Zepeda in there, but I think we all know that, you know, if we had to put all of these guys in the ring, you know, together, I'm pretty sure Shakur and Tank are the two that are definitely gonna, you know, walk out. It's got to be one of them that's gonna walk out. I don't think, as good as Zepeda is, and I'm not trying to say that, you know, I'm sleeping on him, because a lot of people think I'm sleeping on him because I'm picking, when there were the talks of Shakur Stevenson and Zepeda, I said, oh, Shakur's gonna beat Zepeda easy, but honestly, it might not be easy. You know, Zepeda's a very fan-friendly fighter, and his style is very high output, high volume. He throws a lot of punches, so that could force Shakur Stevenson to fight a fight that he's not very comfortable with. Yeah, that's all true, and I agree with that. That's fine, but I still have to go with Shakur Stevenson. You're talking about one of the best offensive fighters versus one of the best defensive fighters, and I think Shakur is better at defense than Zepeda is at offense, so I'm going to go with Shakur Stevenson on that one. But in terms of, you know, going back to what Shakur should do, I think he should, like I said before, just go with the guy that's offering you the most money and could potentially get you that Tank fight. That's the realistic and reality of the situation that Shakur has to, you know, decide for himself what's best for his career, because the most important thing is, you know, money, right? So if you're going to kill two birds with one stone, you want money and you want a credible opponent that, you know, is a big fight, but at the same time, everybody knows who he is because he's a champion, you know, not because he's a clown, not because he's a character. That stuff is out of the way already. You already took out Rolly Romero, you took out Ryan Garcia. Now it's time to face an elite fighter at 35, you know, your own weight class, who nobody can criticize or critique and say that this guy was weight drained, he doesn't even belong at that weight class, whatever. You know, they're not fundamentally sound, they're not actually that good. This is the guy, you know, it's Shakur and Tank. That's the fight where we hear no excuses. You know, people can't say anything about the magnitude of that fight, because it's it really is it's a big fight from a boxing purist perspective. Like, you could say all you want about Shakur is not a big enough draw, it's not going to sell a lot of pay-per-views. Yeah, but I'd rather see the fight now than have some excuses down the line. You know, what are people going to say? Shakur is in his prime, Tank is in his prime. That's the way boxing's supposed to go. It's not necessarily supposed to be all about the money. They're going to make a lot of money regardless. We got to remember that. You know, I think they still sell a decent and solid number of pay-per-views. Maybe if they did it longer down the line, they'd make more money. But in terms of their primes, I think now is the time for Tank and Shakur Stevenson to fight, because at this point, you know, both are undefeated, both have had solid performances. You know, you could argue Tank is the more exciting of the two, but Shakur is just as talented in different ways that might not be appealing to, you know, fight fans or people that just want to see a knockout, but he knows what he's doing. You know, you don't just get to the top for a reason. And I think Shakur Stevenson's a tremendous fighter. I think he could very well beat Tank. You guys know that I got to go with Tank just because of the power. I think it makes that much of a difference. And Shakur has acknowledged that Tank has that power. He's going to be dangerous throughout 12 rounds. And that's just something I can't bet against. I can't bet against that. The fact that Gervonta Davis may land something on Shakur Stevenson throughout that 12-round duration. It wouldn't surprise me if Shakur, you know, wins that fight because he's really good. Like he's really good. No glazing, none of that. But the kid's just a good fighter. Like you guys watch him every single time. Doesn't really get touched. Handles business. And people always like to criticize and say he doesn't get a knockout. And I was critical of his last performance too. I thought he could have stepped on the gas and maybe got Artem out of there. But at the end of the day, he got the job done. So it's, you know, basically on to the next. And the reason why I was even frustrated in the first place is because I know Shakur's mentality. He always says that, you know, sometimes you can't always give into what the fans want. And that's true. So I'm kind of anticipating him to fight a boring fight when it comes to, you know, difficult fighters against who have, you know, that sense of power that could hurt, you know, potentially hurt Shakur Stevenson when it comes to Ryan Garcia or, you know, a guy like Tank Davis. I understand that Shakur may have to fight a fight where, yeah, it might be boring, but in cases where, you know, guys like Artem Harnatunian, these guys aren't on his level, you know, I'd like to see Shakur Stevenson get him out of there. But Shakur also talked about how strong Artem felt in the ring. So I also, you know, I get that too. I understand that it's difficult to be a boxer. A lot of people sleep on these opponents, and then, you know, you get in there and you find out, hey, this guy's elite. So it could be that as well. But either way, I think that Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson, you know, going back to that, that's the fight to make. You know, that's got to be the fight to make. But in order for it to happen, Shakur Stevenson, like I said at the beginning of the video, would have to, you know, make a decision relatively soon to get this fight potentially in the cards for, you know, next year. You know, it's like probably not going to be their next fight. I'm hearing a lot about Zepeda fighting Tank, or Tank fighting Rayo Valenzuela and Shakur fighting Zepeda. That's fine. But I just feel like, you know, a lot has to go right now for that Tank fight and Shakur fight to happen in the future. So it all starts now. It all starts with, you know, Shakur Stevenson making that decision on where he's going to fight, what network he's going to fight on, who's going to promote him for the future of, you know, the future of his career. That's the priority right now. So we'll see what Shakur picks, but let me know in the comments what you guys think Shakur should do in this scenario where he's kind of still deciding what promoter to sign with and what network to fight on. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, but thank you guys for watching today's video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace. That's going to do it for another NASFight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.